I was when I saw you rock down with the Fire Xander, immediately I was like, oh hell yeah, here we go. It's a deck that I've been like fiddling with for a while, and yours is much more like all in than the version that I've been playing with. So when we saw the squirrels come down, I was like, oh yeah, he's all in on the aggro.
Yeah, I had to upgrade the squirrels just because they're so important.
Yeah,
I got the promo versions.
nice. Yeah, I mean the squirrels did like what 3 damage in round 7, just kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, that one game.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, how do you want me to go through
It was
this?
like a couple of turn 3 kills in the last, a couple of rounds, and I think, yeah, a large part of that was, Gildas and those squirrels. And I think you had a Arthur on turn 1, like 3 or 4 games that we watched. So
Yeah, yeah.
definitely insane stuff.
Yeah, so I guess you can start just by like talking about your material deck. We talked about on stream a lot the dagger. The second I saw the dagger hit the field, I'm like, yo, this is a really, really big deal.
Yeah, so
Poison dagger.
I mean, the material deck is basically just a toolbox. You have Xander, Tristan. Tristan, I'll get to later, I guess, but I don't think I played her at all today.
Okay, okay.
GCR is important. Safeguard Amulet, just in case you're running behind, like bricking against the Arcane Ride decks. Poison Dagger, very important. I'll get back to that. So I would say these cards are the important ones, and then everything else is just a toolbox. So Safeguard Amulet against Rye, Blinding Orb against honestly anything. If you need to like stall a turn, it also draws you a card. Bauble Abundance. I would say these two, Bauble and Grand Crusader's Ring, are helpful with the Gildas, just to try to get the balance right. Because sometimes your numbers are a little off. I actually didn't use the poison coating oil, but it's just an extra 2 damage because I have a bunch of stealth units in my deck. Orb Choking Fumes also just to stall as well, usually against either Rye sometimes or against like Ascension Lorraine. And then Orb Regret if my hand's bricky.
That makes sense. I nicknamed my Fire Xander deck Orb Xander because he has so many orbs in.
Yep.
In the deck. Yep.
Yeah, and then Assassin's Ripper is super important just so you can double damage with Rending Flames, and then Poison Dagger because you're trying to swarm them, you're going to do a lot of instances of damage, and of course it's going to help.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's interesting because you don't ever plan on really going much higher than level 2 at the max. You know, like you said, we never even saw Tristan. We knew that Tristan was in your deck and we're kind of waiting for her, but she never even hit the field. When would you have wanted to play Tristan? That's something we were talking about on coverage. Like, when would you have actually wanted to do it?
So basically, when I'm getting stalled out with like, it's usually going to be wind with intercepts that I'm gonna like not be able to kill them early. So that when I get stalled out, she'll give prep counters because I'm playing a bunch of cards like where is it? Like Ignited Stab uses the prepare. Planted Explosives uses the prepare to do extra damage, and then of course with the Assassin's Ripper, if I just want to do the extra damage again. So like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I guessed, by the way, on coverage for Tristan. I was like, it's probably there just to deal with like big, chunky, like intercept dudes that all of your tiny guys can't get through.
Yeah, it's less the ally hit actually. It's more the at end of turn you get a preparation counter.
That makes sense actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just if I want to like go for game, I need the extra reach with my prepare spells.
How many of each of the prepare spells, like the prep and the?
It's 4 of each. So 4 ignited stabs, 4 planted explosives.
And then I guess next we can just kind of talk about like your main deck. Obviously, you're not running any advanced elements, but just kind of like your allies and then your other spells and stuff.
Yep. So it's like a pretty. I don't know if you play other card games, but it's like a pretty standard burn deck where you're playing a bunch of allies. So Arthur to buff everyone, of course. The very important squirrel. There's a couple mark the targets to add preparation counters again, but also it's pretty good with the Assassin's Ripper because it'll just do 2 damage.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, the Poison Dagger.
Yeah.
4 Gildas, of course. I'm gonna take out the allies.
Cool. Sounds good. And yeah, you could say that I play a few card games. We were discussing on coverage that your deck felt very much more like a classic red deck win style deck. You have burn to kind of go over the top, and all of the very very low cost efficient bodied
Exactly, yeah.
allies.
Alex, was there any matchups that you were particularly worried about going into this tournament?
So I feel like Fire Lorraine and Wind Lorraine are pretty close as a matchup. So Fire Lorraine is actually the one match that took a game off of me, whereas every other game it was 2-0.
Okay.
So because they're playing like basically the same package, they have a chance to kill me before I can kill them, and it's just a race at that point. And then win decks with a lot of intercepts, like if you're playing Asin Protectors or even the Swift recruits, like just if you can block me, that's good enough, usually.
Yeah, that does make sense. How many card draw cards do you run in the deck? Like, do you run the Cremation Ritual? Or
Yes, so I am running Cremation Rituals. I am running the Creative Shocks. And then I think that's it for the card draw, and I'm just filtering with the Center Sentries, with the Hasty Messengers, and of course Creative Shock.
Yeah.
So it's a little more focused, right? There's only a few, I think it's 3 Honorable Vanguards and then 4 Tempered Steels. So not that much floating memory because I'm not leveling up that much.
Yeah, I mean, most of the games that we saw you play, you ended at either, level 1 or even sometimes level 0.
Yeah,
Still.
that one game.
Yeah. 4-minute game.
Yeah, I don't think I missed anything. Oh yeah, there's the Rending Flames.
Yeah, those
Of
are
course,
great.
yes. Just to kind of close out the game. We did hear that this was like one of your first times playing this deck. Were you like on it for a while, or is this something you just kind of like cost?
No, so basically what happened is I've been on Water Xander for the longest time, but my friend spent like an entire night playtesting against me, and I didn't win a single game. So I'm like, okay, I gotta switch decks now because there's no way I'm gonna show up at regionals with a deck that can't win a game against your deck. He was playing Wind Lorraine.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I gotta switch decks, and this looked like the deck that suited me the most, and I had the most cards for, honestly. And yeah.
Nice. Well, congratulations. You absolutely crushed it. And like I mentioned, this is a deck that I have been kind of tinkering with for a while, so I'm glad to see it have such a explosive showing here. Partly because of the Korhazi Courier is my collaboration card with Grand Archive, but also I think the deck is just super sweet, and I dig the Fire Xander.
Yeah, it definitely felt really good to play. Like, I didn't break at all, and I always had something to do, like, unlike the other decks I've tried before.
And you, were able to consistently hit that balance with Gildas, which is really sweet.
Yes. Yeah, because of the Woodland Squirrels, so even if you're off, like, it just helps so much to make that balance.
Yeah, that's exactly something we mentioned on stream, too, because you did the Gildas into Woodland Squirrels just to make sure that you got the balance, which is really cool.
Yeah, because you're such a tough card going second, right? Because you have 8 cards, and so you can't reliably turn on her balance. So
yeah,
Woodland Squirrel is a great shot there.
Yeah. Cam, do you have anything else to ask him?
No, I don't think so. I mean, again, congrats, Alex, on your Nationals invite. Are you going to plan to go to Nationals?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for taking time to chat with us, and congratulations again. Well deserved.
All right, thanks, guys.